All right, y'all. Welcome back and happy Thursday. We have a couple of pretty big updates to the 2026 class. Please make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. We'll start right here with the phone bomb for Darrell Rivers. He's a three-star D lineman. He could play tackle. He could play strong side in. He is going to be choosing his program tomorrow, and we've told y'all for probably like the past month that we feel like Tennessee's in a very good spot for him. He is extremely versatile. Okay, I love his length. I love his burst off of the football, his strength playing in a high classification in the state of Georgia. He's going up against real dudes. Of course, we'll be breaking them down more tomorrow because we will be going live if we can find his stream somewhere. So y'all stay glued to the channel for that. But yeah, this would be a huge pickup for this class because we really do need some more D tackle bodies. Next, let's talk about Savion Hyder because he just went to X earlier today and he said that he's going to be dropping his date here pretty soon. Now, I don't know what soon means, but I'm hoping that it's within like the next 2 to 3 days. I feel like he's going to choose a program probably before the season starts. So I think that he'll set his date for like the end of this month. But the insiders feel like it could be August or, later. I don't know. To me, he kind of feels like a guy that is all business. So he probably wants to get this process over with. It is very tedious and, it does kind of take a toll on these guys. So he's probably just about done with it. Something else that I want to point out here, y'all, is that he's got his top four. I think that is actually ordered based off of the teams with the lowest chance to land them to the most likely. Now, y'all might call me a homer when I say that, but you see that it's us and it's Michigan as the bottom two programs here. Maybe I'm reading too much into it, but that's just what we do. So I feel like Tennessee is in a good spot. We've talked about that several times. Coach Heupel hasn't landed a five-star running back since he's been up at Tennessee. This would be the first one, and this is the number one player, or this is the number one running back in the whole doggone country. Obviously, he would be huge fitting into a system that's very, running back friendly. Now let's talk about Craig Tutt, in-state safety, four-star guy. Tennessee needs safeties in the worst way. He did set his date for July the 18th. We've said for a long time Tennessee's probably in second place. Feels like he's going to go to Ole Miss, and now even the insiders are saying the same thing. We don't know exactly what he's going to do, but that's just the way that everything's trending at this point. But I think Tennessee's going to be fine moving forward because we have this young man right here, Moa, who is a four-star athlete. He could play wide receiver or he could play a safety. That's two spots that Tennessee really needs players at. I absolutely love his game. So for me personally, he's number one on, he's number one on my personal board, okay? I think that this would be the biggest add to this class out of anybody else. I don't care if it's Savion Hyder, if it's Tristan Keys. To me, he just makes the most sense because he can help us in a couple of different areas. And I feel like as a freshman, he could get playing time at either spot, but at safety, he could come in and actually fight to start. So that's what his skill set is. But he's from the state of Utah. Right now, it feels like it was us and Utah. And he was, he had set a date for the 5th. And now it sounds like he might be pushing that back. He hasn't come out and said that, but the insiders are saying, watch out for that to happen. I think that actually favors Tennessee because if he was getting all these crystal balls and stuff to go to Utah, the in-state school, and he's pushing things back, it makes me feel like, man, Tennessee is probably in a much better spot than we would have been if he would have actually chose on the 5th. So everyone's telling him, hey, you can play both sides of the football, and that just goes to show what his versatility is actually like. Now let's talk about Braden Rouse because four-star linebacker, Tennessee doesn't really need to add another linebacker to this class, but he's really good, okay? He's high up on Tennessee's overall big board. I can tell you that for sure. And we talked about it yesterday that maybe he would come out and choose a program this weekend. Well, one of the insiders actually talked to his family, and they said that they're not really planning on doing anything this weekend, but it's probably coming here pretty soon. Now, the reason that we're talking about him now is because there's been a little bit of smoke about Texas because Texas just lost one of the top linebackers in the country to Alabama. So I saw somebody, and I don't know if it was an insider or if it was just, I don't know who it was, but somebody was like, well, that puts him number one on the Texas big board for their linebackers. So now maybe he has to step back and look at everything. I don't think that that's true, and we will talk about who I think Texas, their number one linebacker is in this class. But listen, I think that Braden Rouse is a just extremely versatile player. He could come in, he could help us out in a major way. But if you look at Tennessee's linebacker room currently with this football team, it's already pretty deep. It's very talented with some young players. And the only guy that I feel like is probably going to be leaving us after this year would be Arion Carter. So we bring back everybody. And, we've already added two guys to this class. Adding Braden Rouse, while we really want to do it, that's more of like a luxury. It's not something that we really need. Now, next season, that's when Tennessee would probably really need to land, I'd say 1, 2, maybe 3 linebackers. But this year, we're perfectly fine really just adding one Adding two, we should have been done. But of course, if you're still in it for a player of this caliber, then you want to add him. And I will also say this: I think that he would be the best linebacker in this class. That's just me personally, not by some huge margin, but I just think that his ceiling is crazy. So we'll see what happens. Now, this is Tyler Atkinson. This is who I think Texas, this is their number one target. Okay. So people, I don't know why, but they just feel like, hey, this is 100% going to be Georgia. He's not just the number one linebacker in this class, y'all. I think that he's the number one player in this class. There's a couple of guys that I've seen here recently that came out of this same area. So Travis Hunter, Caleb Downs, and also KJ Bolden. Those are three guys that you can just watch them play. And you say, okay, this is a first round talent. As long as they stay out of trouble and they don't get injured, they're going to be first round guys. To me, I would say that Tyler Atkinson, he's in that same conversation. And he might be right up there, very close to like a Travis Hunter. That's just for me. That's my personal grade. Like I said, I think he's the maybe best player in this whole class. So yes, Texas is going to be more all in on Tyler Atkinson than on Braden Rouse. And I don't know if that's going to, sway, Rouse either way. You know what I'm saying? But I don't want for people to think, hey, Braden Rouse is Texas. That's their number one guy. And he's our number one guy, so he's going to get the same type of love. I don't think that it's like that. Texas is going to be all in for Tyler Atkinson first. And this is also big just because y'all already know that I hate Georgia. Y'all probably hate Georgia too. We don't want a player like this going to Georgia because whenever they have linebackers like this, they're very tough to stop. He could honestly probably play at safety in the SEC at a really high level at, 6'3". He's probably about 220, close to 230 pounds. Now he just runs like a daggum deer. And I mean, he's, moves like a cat. You know what I'm saying? Like he's one of those guys, just extremely special. People talk about Jeremiah Smith. Yes, he's a generational talent. For me, Tyler Atkinson is the Jeremiah Smith for defense. You know what I'm saying? I think he comes in as a freshman on any team. He should be starting, but he's, on that level. So we can't let him go to Georgia. But also, if Texas can land him, then that would help us out with Braden Rouse. So, it's a very positive thing either way that we spin it. If Texas goes all in for Tyler Atkinson and they can end up landing him. But that's going to be it for my thoughts. Overall, I feel like Tennessee will end up landing Braden Rouse. I think he is going to be part of this class, and that should be coming out, I'm hoping, at some point next week. But y'all share your thoughts with me down in the comment section. And as always, please do make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. We'll see y'all on the next one. Thanks. Peace. Thanks for watching, and please make sure to like and subscribe to the channel because that keeps us growing inside of the YouTube algorithm. And if you did like this video, here's another one that you might also enjoy. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.